Yeah, very big welcome to you, my dear Aquarius. So the sun is a second time giving the light to the moon, which is in your sign. So the sun in Taurus, right, is saying, well, have a look what's really going on here. You are rooted through spiritual practice. You are now grounding yourself into understanding that the 5 and the sun, the 19, turns into a 10. The 10 and the 5 is the 15. There can be attachments happening to what is happening here, right? And so understand very clearly how important it is for you to know that the sun is giving you now a second time the chance to look into what Taurus here wants to teach you. And I find it very interesting, right, that this is the Hierophant, and that in the month where the sun was in Taurus, in the Hierophant, a new pope was elected. And so here we see that the spiritual teaching continues, but also modernizes itself. And this is what's so beautiful. The sun is then giving, of course, the light to the moon, which is in your sign. And so we see that you find the stardom that you are born into slowly becomes roots, right? And that you're not feeling strange about that anymore. You are accepting your fate. And still, though, you can look always deeper into the subconscious to see what is holding you back. Then, of course, we have you as a court card here in this deck. There is a masculine and a feminine king. You're the 11th zodiac sign, which is community through the 11th house and technology, and you're the visionary. And we're going to look at the Knight of Cups because there is a mixture, right? There is, of course, the major arcana, the soul aspect of Aquarius, and that is helping you to understand that in the court cards there is a mix. So here this is a pure Aquarius, and of course there is the mix of here Aquarius and the Knight of Cups. So I'm doing a little bit of a switch between them, right? And I started it with Sagittarius and Capricorn, and so I will continue to try this new method. Then we have Uranus, which is the Fool. We're going to look at that. And we are having, of course, Pluto, which is in retrograde in your sign. We're going to look at that as well. So since it's the second time, right, we are recognizing that Taurus is really wanting to tell you something. And last time the message was you are experiencing Pluto's transformation in your house. And Pluto's transformation in your house is important for you to understand, because that's where we understand that the mystical side is becoming more and more important to us, because Pluto is going to shift you big time. Now there is one card that is reoccurring, and so we can begin the reading. I begin with the King of Swords. The King of Swords date is from the 9th of January to the 7th of February. And this means if you have your birthday between the 9th of January and the 20th of January, that is where the King of Swords has the mix with the soul aspect, the devil. And so here you are getting now the 10 of Wands. And the 10 of Wands is plucking too many flowers, plucking too many things that burden you. And this is Saturn in Sagittarius. And Saturn in Sagittarius is letting you know that the world wants these flowers, or you want these flowers, that you want these flowers, but maybe the world doesn't want these flowers. And Sagittarius is a sign that wants to do a lot, needs to do a lot to feel fulfilled. And the mother piece tarot is bringing the daughter of wands slightly to the right. And so the daughter of wands is Aries, Leo, which is your opposite sign. That's where you get the light for the full moon, and Sagittarius. And so the 10 and the 3 is the 13. And that's a transformation that you may be willing to go through because you're the 11th zodiac sign. So I leave the portal here. I leave the 11. So this could be the 13th of November, right? Or then if I calculate the 13 together, I get the 4th of November or the 11th of April as a date. So observe where you're doing too much. When you do too much, right, sometimes then we get overwhelmed in doing things that may be not necessary. And the young generation is literally saying, stop that. You don't need to do that much. You don't need to burden yourself, even though those flowers are beautiful, right? And of course we want them. So now the Knight of Cups, which is that mixture when you're born between the 9th of February and the 19th of February. That's a mix, right? And so here has come clinging to the past, which is the 5 of Cups, which is Mars in Scorpio. And Scorpio, the transformation, which is ruled by Pluto, and Pluto is now of course in Aquarius, right? And so if your soul aspect is with Aquarius, with the star, you feel that. So here comes clinging to the past, and Mars leads of course Aries, and Aries is now a big fighter. Particularly Neptune is in Aries, and Saturn is going to meet Neptune in Aries at 0 degree. And so here the 12 and the 5 is the 17. And that's here the soul aspect of Aquarius, right? The star up in the sky. And the 17 then turns into an 8. But I can also calculate here a 3 out of the 12, which is the Empress. The 3 and the 5 is also an 8. What is coming from the Mother Piece Tarot? You're getting the 4 of Discs to the left, and that's Sun in Capricorn. And so you see that Sun in Capricorn is letting you know, do not get burdened with sadness. Close the door and do a ceremony, because the 4 is always the Emperor. And so here we get a 9. The 9 and the 12 is the 21, and that's Saturn. And Saturn is going into Aries, right? And Aries is the one that is helping us to become now a warrior of love, a warrior of peace. And so the 21 turns into a 3, and the 3 is left here. So in a way, the 3 of the 12 here, which is the 12th zodiac sign of spirituality and art, right? That's what the Piscean energy is all about. And so here you see, do not cling to the past, do not hold on, right? Meditate and do the ceremonies so that you can really let go. What is Uranus bringing? Uranus is bringing you the 3 of Cups, and that's the card that came up last time. So the 3 and the 0 is the 30. And the 30 means that you are understanding that the middle cup is feeding your adventure with Uranus. Uranus, right, planet that is ruling you. And here is the 0. And in the 0, we understand that we can be everything and nothing. And in the everything and nothing, we know that letting go feels like an adventure. And so the celebration of the 3 of Cups with here the 5 of Cups, which is of course Mars in Scorpio, are 8 cups. Now this is Mercury in Cancer, and Cancer is the healer. And so heal yourself through going deep within. What is coming from your deck, because Uranus is ruling you? The Knight of Pentacles. And the Knight of Pentacles is walking away from this. It's almost like you have fulfilled a mission and now you're going further out on this horse. And of course he's the 6th zodiac sign, so here the 30 and the 6 is the 36. That's then again a 9, and the 9 we know is always the completion through Virgo, and Virgo is here through the Knight of Pentacles. What is Virgo saying? Virgo is bringing you the 6 of Pentacles, which is the moon in Taurus. Now you have the sun in Taurus a second time, but nevertheless, right, here is now a 6-6 portal, and here the 30. So I leave the 30 and the 6-6 because a portal, we want to see that as an invitation. 2 times the 6 in the third eye. We understand the message. We understand it's all about giving and taking, and the moon in Taurus brings this kind of aspect, and that's where you're going into. You did your adventures, but you're also realizing that you want to give, that you don't want to just do adventure. Adventure is great, but eventually then it's like, okay, what else can I do? And you are giving and taking, which is what the moon in Taurus does. Now, the moon. The moon brings you the overflow. So here we have the 18, which is the 9, and here the 43, that's the 7. And the 9 and the 7 is the 16. The 16 is Mars, and we had Mars in Scorpio, right? And that's where you're clinging to the past. And Mars is actually ruling Aries, right? And so Aries is saying, well, understand in the 16 that you're getting a 7 again when we calculate it together, and that the overflow or the overwhelm and the plenty sometimes seems a lot, but you can handle it. You can look at it. When it overflows, accept it, right, and enjoy it. So what is coming here from your deck, because the moon is in your sign? You get the 2 of Cups, and that's Venus in Cancer. And you had Mercury in Cancer, so you had 5 cups, 3 cups is 8, and 2 more is 10 cups. So Mercury and Venus in Cancer together is a 5, and the 5, that's the Hierophant that is teaching you a lesson, one more lesson. And so the lesson is that when you in your subconscious feel like you would like to meet your soulmate, it's possible, right? A soulmate is someone that you just really feel connected to. You are at the base together, but then you give each other the space to grow in different directions, but here you are connected. And so we see that the 7 and the 2 is again a 9, and the 9 is a completion. Then you're coming into the completion that is fulfilling you. And I can, of course, here make a 9, and here the 7 and the 2 a 9. Then you have a 9-9 portal. We can also calculate it like this. So see what feels right to you, and understand that Venus in Cancer and then here Mercury in Cancer is when you fulfill your center, then the 2 cups will appear, and then you can let go of these 5 cups, right? But altogether you have 10 cups, and 10 cups is always being excited and being happy. Now the sun. The sun is in Taurus and is bringing you the 28, the joy and the music. So enjoy that message that is coming here, right, through Taurus, and understand that the joy that you're feeling here, because here we have a 10 and a 19 is a 10, it's a 10-10 portal. What is Taurus bringing you? Getting the Knight of Pentacles again, and look, he is now more solid. Here he was kind of like ethereal, now he's becoming more solid. You become more solid, more grounded in the enjoyments. And so what came up here is the moon in Taurus, and so I'm gonna keep the same card here for this. Understand that you are now seeing the world in a whole new perspective. Here he's holding the coin. Here are 6 coins, and you had 4 coins. That's 10 coins, and that's a lot of money. Enjoy that money, use it. And that's the overflow, right, that came with the 43, the plenty and the overwhelm, that you have so much, that you have maybe found this soulmate love, and here you are enjoying yourself, but you are continuing giving and taking, and you understand that here is now a 666. 3 times the 6 is the hexagram, one of the most powerful symbols there is, right? And so see that here the 6 is again talking to you, and that's the message through the sun. Now Pluto is bringing you the oak, the support, the number 25. The 25 turns into a 7, so you have a 7-7 portal here. And understand that when we use the oak as the tree that firmly grounds us, and I'm just going to read it to you. Mighty growth makes stability and strength, yet the oak follows a pathway laid out in the acorn's minute stored codes. Water your seed and sprout, walk your roots deep within the soil to spread a fungal network throughout the world-wide wood. Tannin-rich bark purifies. Invoke the magic folk living within this tree. Seek their moral fiber and question your own. They might not support all you thought true. Oak, support, be supported. That's what the call is coming, because you're getting a second time Taurus, and the owl is sitting on this tree and giving the next generation the information. So feel supported, because here this horse is leafy, and here then with Taurus the horse became black and stable, right? And so understand that the oak is coming. What is coming from your deck? The moon came up, and so the moon a second time in your sign with Taurus Sun is saying this is where you find stability, and this is what Pluto is bringing in your house, right? In the house of technology and community. Understand that you are grounding yourself with people that you never before thought possible, and you're looking deep within your subconscious, and you understand that the message of the moon was overflow. And so we're going to keep that card here, and you see that now you're overflowing because you have the 7-7, right? Here is the 18 and the 20. The 20 and the 18 is the 38. That's the 11, and that's you. So there's a 7-7 and then you, and you understand how beautiful all of this is, right? Because you also have here 7 cups, right? If you calculate the 5 and the 2 together, understand that everything can speak to us. Wherever we go, we understand the message. And so you know the 7-7 is the crown chakra. 2 times the 7 is letting you know how important it is that you understand the messages that are coming constantly to us, and Spirit wants to let you know that it supports you and that the overflow is real. It's not just some imagination, because you have the oak and you have the sun in Taurus giving you a second time the light for the moon in your sign, and the moon has come up. And so understand that somehow, yes, you can be a star. You can be a star in your community. Don't do too much. Understand always that you need to rest. Understand that you need to dance, that you need to enjoy yourself, right? That you, yes, it's beautiful, these flowers, but it's like, don't go there in the suppression or the spiritual oppression that can happen here. And remember, you have 10 cups, right? And those 10 cups are important for you to understand, because first it was clinging to the past, then you feeding that with the middle cup, and then the Two of Cups appeared. So these cups are now here. You see that? It's like this cup is feeding this clinging to the past, and clinging to the past is because I don't know who I really am, and then when I know who I am, these two cups are left, and that's what has appeared here. So a really beautiful message that can teach you something, because the 10 then here is with this 10, and then again with this 10 at 3 times 10, that's the 30, right? And the 30 we know has come through the 30 here. And in that 30, you understand, there's the Empress and there's Uranus, and I'm taking that path back to myself. And now I see you had another 10 through the 10 of Pentacles, so you have 4 times the 10, and 4 times the 10, that's understanding that you are being loved. And in that love, you see the 4 and the 3, the Emperor and the Empress, right? And that's why we understand that when we go deeper within and we're closing the doors to the outer world, we discover who we really are. Wow, beautiful, right? So Taurus has spoken a second time and is letting you know, right, that everything comes and go, giving and taking is the message. And so I hope I see you in the next reading. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.